We can start, sir.
Hey everyone, good morning. How are you all? I'm Vikas and I'll be your trainer for this DevOps Mastery Program. So, let me just give me a brief introduction about me. I'm Vikas Mudis and I'm having more than 8 years of experience in the field of DevOps training, and I'm also a corporate trainer. So, and I'm also working in the same field. So, whatever you are getting or whatever the course or whatever the questions or the stuffs that we are going to cover up are completely broad based, and it will start from, let's say, most of the people will ask that this specific course is related to which level. So I would say this specific course is from the beginner to a advanced level. Now, I would like to all of you to please introduce you one by one so that I can get an assumption that what could be the skill level we have into this specific batch. Okay, so let's start with Agam.
Hello, good morning, sir. I'm audible.
Yeah, yeah, you are audible.
Uh, what I need to tell, sir?
Uh, what is your skill level, or if you're working, so where are you working, and why you chose
So,
this specific DevOps course?
sir, I am in final year of my graduation.
Okay.
Yes, so that's how I discovered my interest in DevOps from college.
Okay. Okay. Next will be Fred. Uh, yeah, Fred. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, good day. Um, I'm Fred. I'm a software developer,
Fred,
and I would like to know more about DevOps.
your voice is a little bit choppy in between the call. Can you please repeat?
Yeah, I said my name is Fred. I'm a software developer, and I would like to know more about DevOps.
Next, Eddie. Eddie is not able to go in.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
I am working as a desktop support engineer. I have 2 year experience, so I need to improve my skills. That's why I want to learn DevOps.
Okay. Ravinder. Ravinder is not able. Sheetal. No issues there. So thanks for introducing you guys. So let's start this specific topic and what we are going to learn into DevOps. What could be the possible path that you can adapt while jumping into the DevOps? It totally depends on the skill level or the experience level. Okay. So guys, do let me know once my screen is visible to you. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, guys. So I think my slide was not able to open. So I'm just giving you a introduction that what we are going to learn and what could be your possible technologies that right now I would say they are having a buzz in the market. and what is their market, I would say, adaptability when they were introduced. So first of all, this is the course which is named as the DevOps Mastery, okay, from zero to hero program. Okay, from zero to hero. Now, what this specific course means. So first of all, the duration of this course is I would say from 120 to 130 hours. Now, this will include all the practical scenarios. This will include all the project-based approach, as well as the, let's say, if you are looking for any specific kind of a certification. So we are jumping till that level. Okay. Now, when we say about the level of this course, it is from the beginner to the advanced level. Okay. Now, the topics that we are going to cover up during this training. So the first topic. So guys, I hope that all of you are aware with the uh, any kind of operating system, whether it is Windows, whether it is Linux, or let's say whether it is MacBook. If you are not aware, then that is not an issue. The operating system, the operating system that we are going to use into this training will be Linux. Now, what is Linux based operating system? What is its market strength? Why every company is using Linux as their source operating system to host their websites, to host their applications? We are going to jump all of the scenarios into this. Now, this Linux topic will consist of the, let's say, basic commands, okay, basic day-to-day commands. Because let's say if you talk about the Windows laptop, then simply we just need to do a simple click, copy, paste kind of a stuff in Windows, which is not generally happen into the Linux based operating system. Always remember guys, an operating system is like a, for me it's like person. If you want to communicate with the operating system, then you need to give your commands. So that is why Linux always works onto the commands. So we are going to cover up the basic commands along with the arguments, along with the options, so that you can be very much handy with the Linux operating system. Because when you jump into the DevOps culture, everybody says that DevOps is a technology. I will not say DevOps is a technology, it is a complete culture. Okay, so whenever you jump into the DevOps culture, the basic need will be Linux. Although, let's say you are having 10 years of experience, 15 years of experience, or you are a beginner, but as being a pro DevOps engineer, as being a good DevOps engineer, you should have a very good hands-on skills with Linux. Okay, so it will include basic commands, some server configurations as well. Okay, some administration kind of a stuff will be there. So these are the basic things that we are going to cover up. Now let's say what flavors you are going to use in Linux. So generally there are two different kind of vendors in the market who are managing Linux. There are two different kind of architectures available into the Linux. So we are going to cover up both of them. Those will be, let's say, Ubuntu and CentOS or Red Hat based operating systems. Okay, now what is the difference between these type of operating systems? Is there any difference in the command? Why, if let's say if Ubuntu is able to complete all of the tasks, then why we jump onto the Red Hat based operating systems? We are going to talk about each and everything in a very detailed manner. Okay, now I forgot to add one more thing before this thing. Okay, now guys, let's say before talking about any topic, we should know the basics of that topic, why we are learning that topic, why that specific topic is so much important. So we are going to start with our session with the importance of DevOps in IT and its future aspects. Okay, now a few years back, you can see that there was no profile named as DevOps. Suddenly, there is a profile arises in the market named as DevOps, and right now it is leading the market in terms when we say that this profile is leading in the market. Then let's say after 5 years, whether DevOps is going to be obsolete, what would be the future technologies that we need to keep focus on if we still want to use this specific technology. But as the technology is growing, day by day. I will not say that DevOps is going to be obsolete soon. It is going to be a long run in the market. Okay. Now after that, why DevOps? Okay. Now, what could be the packages that you can have DevOps in the market depends on your skill set. Okay. Let's say the very first thing, we are done with the Linux based operating system. After completion of this specific topic, you are going to get the slides of this specific topic. You are going to get the scenario based questions of these topics. Now let's say if anyone wants, now you will be on a stage where you can say that yes, I am right now on the intermediate level of the Linux. Now you want to jump for any kind of a global certifications. Okay, so let's say you want to jump onto some kind of a global certifications. So we will have, I'll give you the guidance on that as well, that what are the certifications available, how you can prepare for that, what are the pros of having a certification in your resume. So we are going to cover up all those things. Now the second topic that we are going to use will be shell scripting. Okay, now shell scripting is important for you to remember. Let's say for an example, I give you a task, hey, you need to copy one file onto 1000 operating systems. Now, if you don't know anything about automation, the things are going to be very tidy for you. The things are going to be very uh, hard for you. So that is why automation comes into the picture. So for me, the first, I would say, step towards any automation is to learn shell scripting. Now, this will include the basics of shell scripting. Okay, basics of shell scripting as well as programming part, the loops. Apart from this, we will going to have the prod level questions. Now prod level questions can be related to the that generally being asked into the production. For an example, what is Fibonacci series? Let's say how you can find a prime number. So these are few of the examples. I'm not saying that we are going to cover up only these questions. No, we are going to cover up all the questions. Let's say automation, that let's say you want to take a backup of the any database. Let's say you want to create any uh, folder with the automation. Let's say you want to copy any file. So we are going to cover up. Now always remember guys, the technologies that we are discussing here are all a matter of practice. The more you practice, the more you will be skilled on it. Okay. Now guys, although you can see that I have mentioned few of the things, but I will say that we are not only going to cover up these things, we are also going to cover up all the prod scenarios. I'll, after each and every technology or after each and every topic, I'm going to ask you a few of the questions. Hey, let's say if I give you this task, how you can achieve this with this specific technology. Now, once we are into the class and we have done the very good hands-on onto the frequently asked questions, you will shock to when you are, let's say, sitting in any interview or when you are taking any interview, you will shock to know that whatever the questions that I have asked mostly are covered up into your interviews. Why? Because as I told you in the beginning, I'm a uh, corporate trainer. I also work with the several organizations. So I know that what could be the possible questions, what could be the, according to the JD, what is their infra and what they are using into their organization and what they required from you. Okay. Now guys, just wanted to add one more thing. In the mid of this introductory session, if any one of you is having any kind of a doubt, just raise your hand and I'll happy to answer that. Because let's say if you are waiting for the end of this uh, session, so I think you will skip your question. So you can just simply raise your hand. I'll happy to answer. Okay. Now, this third topic that we are going to cover up will be the Git. Now, what is Git? Why it is very much useful into the IT? For an example, let's say, hey, I give you a task that you need to code a thing into your organization. Right now, your applications are working fine, but suddenly when you apply the new changes, the things are going to be meshy for you. Your application is going completely down. Now, you will, if you are not having any tool which can, let's say, check that, which have the checkpoints or which can easily monitor that where the changes were done. It will not be easy for you guys to understand the root cause, to understand that where the issue was lagging. Okay, so that is why we have introduced Git. Now this Git will have the uh, we do have lots of vendors in the market related to Git, but in our this specific course we are going to use the GitHub. Now there are lots of vendors as well. So what are those vendors, why each and every vendor is little bit different in the organization, and which one is the good for you for the beginner level, although the commands are going to be same in each and every vendor, but yes, there are some certain points which differentiates the vendor, so we are going to cover up those things. Okay, now always remember, whenever we are going deep into this course, you will also going to get the idea of the different technologies working in the market for the same platform. For an example, if I talk about Git, then we do have the vendor as Bitbucket, we do have the Git, we do have the GitHub. So what is the difference between all of them? So you should not be let's say in a position where anybody asks you, hey, do you know anything about Bitbucket? You will not be silenced at that time. You can easily, with a confidence, you can say, yes, I know about Git, I know about the GitHub, so I can answer on that. Okay, now after Git, we are going to have one big topic, and one of the important topic, as I told you that it is a master program, so it will have a cloud vendor included into it, which is AWS. So AWS is basically Amazon Web Services. Okay, now this Amazon Web Services will have its competitors in the market. For an example, we do have the Azure from the Microsoft, we have the Google Cloud platform from the Google. But right now, if I talk about in terms of cloud leader in the market, it's Amazon Web Services. So we are going to cover up all the things. Now, after this, there are some certain certifications available. For an example, if you want to appear for those certifications, we are going to cover up till that knowledge, so that you can easily do the practice and you can easily appear in the certifications. Okay, now this Amazon Web Services will be the base platform for whole the training. For an example, whatever the resources we are going to create, those are going to be on this platform. Okay, now how you utilize this platform into the production, what company is I would say is company is looking for you. For an example, a company can easily hire a person with a lesser package who know about the console of the AWS, but what is running in the backend, the company is looking for that person only. So we are going to cover up all these things, that how the things are working in the backend. Okay, after AWS, we do have a technology named as Docker. Okay, now Docker is one of the uh, important technologies if you are looking in terms of the DevOps culture. What is Docker? Why it is important? How Docker is different from the cloud? Okay. So for an example, if I give you an example that what is cloud? For an example, guys, whenever you compose any email, you can access that email from anywhere. It is not mandatory that you are going to access that specific email from your local laptop or your in-house laptop. You can access that email from anywhere. The same thing cloud works on. Means you can host your servers, you can host your operating servers onto the internet, and you can use it from anywhere in the world. Okay. Next thing will be the Docker. Docker is related to provisioning your servers, but it is somewhat different from the let's say the legacy. For an example, the in-house server. For an example, the cloud-based server, it is somewhat different. It will be mostly used in terms of the cost optimization. It will be mostly used if you want to host multiple application onto the same operating system. You can use that as well. Okay, next will be the uh, Kubernetes over here. Now what is Kubernetes? So guys, it is one of the leader technology in the market. Let's say if anybody is looking to work as a DevOps engineer, Kubernetes is the mandatory skill nowadays, I would say. If I talk about 4 to 5 years back, you can easily appear as a DevOps engineer without any without any Docker and Kubernetes. Not I would say Docker, but without Kubernetes, you can easily appear as a DevOps engineer for any organization. But right now, if you're applying as a DevOps engineer for any organization, they are looking as a Kubernetes admin as well. Now there are certain level of certifications available in the market. Let's say certified Kubernetes admin, certified application developer, certified security specialist. So we are going to cover up till that range as well, so that you can easily understand what is running behind. Now there are two approaches in the market learning Kubernetes. The very first one will be the managed one. Okay, will be the managed one. Second will be the in-house. Now, when I talk about the managed one, means there are some vendors, for an example, AWS, for an example, Azure, okay, for an example, GCP. They will create a Kubernetes cluster for you and they are going to manage it for you. Whereas we are going to learn in a manner of in-house so that you can get an idea about all the in and outs, what is happening in the background. After learning in-house, you can easily manage any of the Kubernetes platform. Okay, so we are going to cover up our training in terms of the in-house Kubernetes. We are going to create our own cluster. We are going to manage our own cluster. Apart from this, we are going to automate our own cluster. We are managing our cluster by our own. We are not relying on any third party vendor. Okay, now the next will be next will be Ansible. Now, what is Ansible over here? Let me give an example. Hey, I have given you 1000 operating system and I want you to change, let's say, a word into any specific file in all the operating system. Now, if you do not have any automation over here, things are going to be very tough for you. So that is why we are going to use Ansible. Now, what is Ansible? It is a configuration management tool, guys. Configuration management tool. Okay. Now, what is the importance of this configuration management tool? It will do the configurations on all your operating systems, okay, irrespective of their operating system mode. For an example, you can create the Ansible script for Windows operating system. You can create your Ansible script for Linux based operating system. You can create your Ansible script for MacBook, as well as, let's say, if you want to configure your router, your switches, you can also do the Ansible configuration for them. Okay, now you will definitely going to ask you, hey sir, if we can configure and we can automate the things with the help of shell scripting, then why we are jumping onto Ansible? Yes, the question is very much valid to some extent, but yes, there are some, I would say, add-ons available into Ansible. The very first one that I told you, it is not OS agnostic. For an example, you can create Ansible playbook and you can execute it for any of the operating system. I'm not talking on any of the operating system, but for any of the operating system. Okay. Next will be the Terraform. Now, Terraform is a very good technology and it is a one of the most hyped technology right now in the market. For an example, I give you a task. Hey, you need to create 100 servers for me, and I have given you 1 week of time. Now, what will happen till Saturday? You have created 100 servers, but because of some error, those servers got deleted, and now you only have 1 day. You cannot configure those servers in a single day. So that is why we do have Terraform for that. Now, what we are going to do into Terraform, we are going to provision our infra. It is an infrastructure as a code tool. Okay. People consider this as IAC tool. Now you are going to create your resources. You can create your resources on a single click. You can delete your resources on a single click. So that is why Terraform is being used in the market. For an example, companies are having a very big infra. It is not easy for them to manage their infra manually. So that is why they required some kind of a tool over there, which will be responsible for creating the resources, for deleting the resources, for managing the state of the resources. So there Terraform comes into the picture. Okay. Next will be the Jenkins. Now, what is Jenkins? Guys, it is a continuous integration and continuous deployment tool. Okay. Now, let's say if you want to deploy your application in an automated approach. For an example, you must have seen that always your softwares are having updated patches for them. So actually, they are having the latest features into it. So the same thing, and Jenkins also work. For an example, if you want to do any latest deployment for your software, so the automated approach we are going to use there will be Jenkins. Okay. So these are the tools. Apart from this, for the monitoring stuff, we are going to use Zabbix. Now, what is this Zabbix? It will be used to monitor your resources. For an example, whether your server is down, whether your DB connectivity is deleted. Apart from this, whether your DB is not able to connect with your application. So we are going to monitor all those things, because DevOps works on a 8 principle, which is monitor, build, test, deploy, uh, observe. So these are some of the parameters on which DevOps generally works. Okay. Now, guys, if any one of you is having any doubt as of now, you can ask me.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Govind.
Yes, I need to know what is the difference between Azure Administrator and DevOps Engineer.
Okay. So the difference between Azure Administrator and DevOps Engineer is this. Azure is related to the Microsoft profile only. For an example, I'm not saying that it is, let's say, okay. So the best example that I can give you, Azure Administrator is the one who is going to work onto the Azure portal only. Let's say if I'll give you, he's very good with the Microsoft Azure cloud. He can easily manage their services. But for being a DevOps engineer, you should know these technologies at least. So Azure is somewhat related to the cloud profile. I would say it is like a cloud administrator of the Microsoft Azure. And these are the tools that we are discussing over here are completely the DevOps culture too. Govind, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions you have, guys? Okay, anyone? You can ask any type of a question related to this specific uh, technology and how you can utilize DevOps into your current role. You can ask any of the question.
So, which is better to learn, Azure Administrator or DevOps?
So for me, I would say first of all go with the DevOps engineer profile, because Azure only going to restrict you for the Microsoft profile. But when you are jumping into the DevOps profile, you can easily appear to multi-cloud. You can also work on to the multi-cloud frame, a multi-cloud environment.
Okay. So, how much time it will take to learn DevOps?
So basically, this is completely depends on your grasping knowledge. For an example, uh, this specific course is having 120 or 130 hours, and the more you are doing the practice, you can easily say that yes, I have achieved something into DevOps and I can easily appear into the interviews.
Yes, sir. I have basic understanding about Linux and AWS and Azure.
Okay. So you have the basic understanding of Azure. So do you have the basic understanding of AWS platform as well, or GCP platform, something like that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. AWS and Azure.
So I think you can easily grasp the things into this specific from this specific course. Apart from this, guys, there are some of the production-based scenarios working in the market right now. For an example, those will be the icing on the cake for you. For an example, if we have a ample time, we are going to jump onto the monitoring tools like Grafana as well. Okay, so that because it is one of the mostly used monitoring tools, we can also try to cover up ELK stack as well, so that you can understand the basics of the that how the log monitoring is being generally done into the DevOps culture. Okay. Someone was saying, yeah, please, anyone is having any other questions?
Sir, shell scripting, which language you will teach
So,
us?
so shell scripting is the separate language that we are going to cover up over here. Now we are going to complete this shell scripting in a manner so that you can easily understand the basics of the other scripting. For an example, Python scripting. For an example, Golang. For an example, Ruby. Whatever the scripting language you are looking, you required any kind of a base to learn the other scripting language as well. In our this course content, we are going to use shell scripting as our base scripting language.
Hello,
Okay.
sir.
Hello.
Sir, is there any difference between cloud engineer and DevOps engineer?
Yes, if there's a difference between cloud engineer and DevOps engineer, the difference is, so Agam, cloud engineer is related to manage the cloud stuff. Although organizations are hiring cloud engineer and they are giving everything to that specific person to manage, but logically, if we say cloud engineer is the one who is going to handle the cloud related stuffs. Okay, it can have the DevOps work, it can not have the DevOps work. But if I talk about the DevOps person will be the one who is going to handle all the environment, whether it is in-house environment or cloud environment. I'm not saying that cloud engineer is going to work on those technologies that we are going to cover up here. They can work and they cannot. It totally depends on the organization to organization. But yes, I can certainly say once you complete these topics that we are doing here, you can easily appear for any of the profiles in the market. So when I say any of the profiles, so starting from the basics, starting from the zero level, the profiles are available will be SRE, that is the site reliability engineer. Okay, site reliability engineer. So guys, pardon me for my spelling mistake if you see over here. Okay, we do have the DevOps engineer profile. You can easily appear. You can easily appear for cloud engineer profile. You can easily appear for solutions architect if you are having a very good hands-on with the technologies and you are having the very good experience, because solution architect is the one who is responsible for creating the infrastructure of your or for laying out the infrastructure of your organization. So these are some of the technologies, some of the, I would say, profiles that you can appear. DevOps engineer will be at the end of the day, I would say, you as being a DevOps engineer, you are going to have everything on your plate. You are going to have cloud on your plate. It depends on your organization. If your organization is having cloud, they will give you the cloud access as well. If they have in-house, they will give you the in-house access. But when I say the cloud engineer is only going to have the working exposure onto the cloud platforms major. I hope that answers your question, Agam.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Guys, any other questions you have, or shall I proceed next?
Sir, for DevOps engineer, it is required any global certificate?
No. So for the beginner level, I'm not saying it is required. Even for the experience, it is not required, but it is always a good thing if you have the weightage of certifications in your resume. If you are for your, as you told me that you are a college, you are going to soon pass out your college. So if you learn all these things in a very handy manner and you have the very clean hands on all those technology, I can certainly say that you can easily appear in the market as a DevOps engineer, because not every person as a college dropout or as a college pass out is having that amount of the production knowledge, because you can also check other vendors as well. They are not going to cover up all those things into the single course content. That is why we have given this course content named as the DevOps Mastery Program. It includes from the basic beginner to the advanced level. Yeah, guys, next question, please.
No, sir, no question.
Okay. So, apart from this, how the things are going to be started from the day one, and what are the prerequisite for this specific course? So, guys, when I say the prerequisite, okay, so the only prerequisite that I want from you guys, a laptop, okay, with good internet connectivity. Rest of the things are onto me. I'm going to help you out throughout the course in a manner. You, let's say if you are doing practice and you stuck somewhere, you can raise your hand, you can ask me at the same time. Apart from this, if I'm not able to answer you at that time, you can keep the log of your things that you have done. You can raise, you can ask me into the doubt sessions, because after every class we are going to have a few minutes of doubt session. Depends on your previous practice. Okay. Also, uh, few of the prerequisite will be a cloud platform. Okay. Now this cloud platform, I'll help you out that how you can create a cloud platform freely on AWS, and you can use it for 1 year. And also, we are going to cover up the cost optimization technique into our this specific course, because at the end of the day, each and every company is looking for the cost optimization approach. Now, when we say the cost optimization approach, it can be related to the automation task. For an example, I can, once we are very much handy with the shell scripting, okay, I can give you a task. Hey, you need to shut down your infra by shell scripting for this specific interval. So that will be an automated approach, and those approaches are some of the examples that are being executed into the organizations on day-to-day things. Apart from this, the very first question, uh, during each and every technology, we are going to cover up the interview level questions, that what could be the question that you will expect from this technology. For an example, the very first question generally being asked, hey, how you can optimize your infra in terms of cost. So we are going to cover up those things as well. Let's say when we are jumping onto the Kubernetes, then why Kubernetes? Why not legacy servers? Why not cloud servers? Why not Docker based approach? Why Kubernetes? So we are going to cover up on all those things. Means the most important word that I can say, this whole training or this whole course is going to work on the principle of why. Means whenever, let's say if we are learning Linux, why only Linux? If we are learning Jenkins, why only Jenkins? Why not other the vendors? Because most of the answers are always behind this question why, and some other let's say if we need to execute how. Means, let's say if I ask you, because in my past experience I have worked on a technology from the legacy mode to the Kubernetes migration, so I have all the audio, all the in and outs, how you can document it, the things, how you can create a benchmark infrastructure in your organization. So we are going to cover up all those things into that training mode. Okay. Also, there are few of the questions that are being asked apart from this. For an example, in my previous batches, my few of the students have asked, hey, we tried to, because they are after, because once you start DevOps course, guys, you will be addicted to that. Means you are going to jump onto multiple things by your own. You will be have a curiosity to know each and everything. So I'll also help them to understand the importance of the thing that they are looking for. Is it relevant with their profile or not? So it's not like a, I would say, training only, it's like a guidance for you guys. The best thing about this session is that this session is, it is going to be interactive, because whenever I took any batch, those are completely the interactive sessions. You can ask your queries, the queries are going to be sorted out at the same time. Proper documentations are provided to them, slides are provided to them, so that the things can be handy with you. Okay. Now, if any questions you have, guys, then just let me know. Okay, if no questions, then I'll start one practical over here. So whenever we say the Linux, so before understanding about Linux, we should know that why Linux and how we can create Linux. First of all, I can show you that my this machine is MacBook based, how you can connect your Linux operating system onto Windows. There is no requirement to make your system dual boot. There is no any specific thing. Okay, the very first thing that we are going to I'm going to show you here how you can create a Linux based operating system or a Linux based server. Okay, so let me just show you guys. So guys, this will be the AWS console that we are going to use. Okay, now this console is responsible for managing your infrastructure. Okay, so I am logging into this, and I'll show you and I'll walk you through this dashboard, and I'll show you that how you can create one of the Linux based operating system and how you can connect with them. Okay, just a second, I'm stopping my screen share. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the dashboard of your AWS. Okay, now AWS is uh, basically the cloud by Amazon. Okay, so there are here you can see that there are lots of reasons available. Now, what is reason? What is zone? We are going to cover up. First of all, let me just show you one of the examples how you can create your own server onto the cloud platform and how you can manage those servers. This is one of the examples. Once we going to jump onto this specific course, I'm going to show you how you can manage those servers. Right now we are creating the servers from the console. There will be a time where you are simply just entering the things and you are creating your own servers. Okay, for an example, here launch instance in cloud terminology name is used for creating your servers. Okay, so let me just give the server name. For an example test I have given, I need to select my respective operating system. This will be the Amazon operating system, MacBook, Ubuntu, whatever the operating system I want, I can select. So let's say if I create Amazon based operating system. Okay, this will be the server specs that we are going to use. Now you can see there will be the n number of server specs available here. Which server spec will be suitable for what kind of a scenario? We are going to cover up all those things. Okay, key pair will be, it's like a password that you are going to use. Okay, so let me just create a new key pair. So you can see I have downloaded my key. Here you can see there are some firewalls available. So in cloud, there is a virtual firewall which is called security group. So we are going to cover up all such kind of a things over here. Okay. Now here you can see we are attaching a volume with our operating system of 8 GB, and we are clicking on the launch instance. Now you can see your complete operating system is going to be created over here. Now, how you can utilize that operating system into your organization, that is a part of discussion into the coming sections. But this is the first thing that I wanted to show you, that in this manner, we are going to create our own resources and we are going to use them for our practical or I would say for our use cases. Okay, so what I'll do, let me just uh, now let me try to connect my operating system. Okay, let's say this is the username, this is the IP, because Linux based operating system generally connects with the SSH protocol. Now, how the things are working in the behind in the SSH protocol, we are going to show each and everything to you over there. Okay, now you can see, guys, into the Windows I can easily do a click over there, but into Linux this is not uh, an idle thing. To deal with Linux based operating system, we need to jump onto the different commands, what each and every command is used for, how we can create the folders, how we can create the files, how we can have the permissions our fold for our folders and files. We are going to use each and everything in a detailed manner. Okay, let me just reload it. You can see that right now my server is getting created. Okay, this is the name of the server, this is the ID of the server, and you can see the state is there. There is a availability zone over here. Now what is this availability zone? This is the public IP, difference between the public IP and private IP, all of these things we are going to cover up. Okay, so let me just see, I hope it is going to be connect soon. Let's wait for the time because the server is getting created in the backend. Now, believe me or not, guys, this server is not situated in India. This server is situated into the US, and we are handling this server from our local laptop. So this is the beauty of this cloud-based technology. Apart from this, there are some other technologies as well. You can create your own virtual network. You can create your own virtual DNS records. You can create your own virtual storages, and all of those things are going to be in a manner that they are physically located onto your laptop. Okay. Try to Even you can see I have stopped some of the servers. When I wanted to start those servers, I need to simply click on the start instance. Now you can see my this server was stopped earlier. I have initiated a command to start those servers. Right now we are managing all of those things from the console. But after some time, when we are very much handy with cloud tech terminologies, when we are very much handy with the Linux based terminologies, then we are going to jump onto the uh, CLI part, that how we can manage all of those things from a CLI perspective. Because companies are not only going to pay you for the console knowledge. I already told you they can hire a person with a lesser package to manage their console part. But for managing the, I would say, CLI part, they require a pro DevOps engineer that should have the all the in and outs. Now, as I'm very much handy with the thing, so I can easily assume that what is the thing is happening in the background, which is taking this server to be alive for some, which is taking some interval to make this server alive. Okay. Now here you can see that my server is now connected. I need to simply put yes. Okay. Now you can see there is some kind of a permission error. Okay, so let me just do. I got the issue. Now, what is this CH mode over here? Okay, why I need to use that? So all of those things we are going to cover up. So let me just check that what is the. Okay, instead of this, let me try to connect this server. Okay, SSH-i EKS.com 12 at the rate This is the IP of this server. Now you can see I have connected with my server. Now this server is not on my local. You can see that this is the uh, IP of this server and this is the IP of my local system. It is completely different. Now this server is located into the Oregon region and we are handling it from our local host, okay, from our local system. Now you can see there are few of the commands that df-h, such kind of a command will be used to check the uh, storage onto your system. Let's say if you want to see the memory on your system, so you can see the memory is of 1 GB. Let's say if you want to see the RAM on your CPU on your system, so you can see that there is a one core CPU associated with my this instance. So guys, in this manner, you can communicate with your Linux operating system. Okay. For an example, you generally do a simple uh, click and paste command it for doing the copy paste. In Linux, you, let's say if you want to create a folder, simply you have to use the command if this one. Okay, now let's say if you want to copy this specific ABC folder to some any other location. So now let's see, you can see that it is being copied. So these are some of the commands that we are going to use in our day-to-day operations. Now you can see this ABC is copied to some other location. Now what is this permission? What is this root? What this date means? So we are going to cover up all of those things in a very detailed manner. This is just an example. This is just an overview that we are going to use. Apart from this, when we talk about the Ansible, when we talk about the Jenkins, when we talk about the Terraform, Kubernetes, there are lots of technologies that we are going to cover up into this specific course with the detailed, I would say, production-based scenarios. Okay. Now, guys, if any one of you is having any doubt, just let me know.
No, sir.
Agam, you have any doubt?
No, sir.
So, guys, this is all for today. This is the very first session, which is the demo session. Related to the course content, whatever we have mentioned over here, we are going to cover up with the complete broad-based scenarios. Okay. Now, let's meet in the next class and we'll start our things with the basics of the DevOps, why DevOps, and then we will jump on to the Linux and other technologies. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, guys. So thanks for your time. Have a great day ahead.